an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Never Date Just One Sis. It is your host, Arthur China T, Coach Erica. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our channel to everybody who is currently sexually active, who is finding problems in their dating life, specifically those women that are 15 to 60. I would not cap it at 15 because those girls are starting to have sex younger and they are digging holes that they're not going to be able to get themselves out of if they don't learn how to date properly. So this channel can accommodate those that are 15 and older. I'm specifically talking to the women that are between the ages that are 30 plus, the ones who are finding issues with dating, especially dating with intention and connecting with men that are on the same level as them. So this is the channel that you need to be following. You can go to wherever other channels that you feel like you're getting value to, but this is the channel where you're going to learn how to date on the roster. I'm not teaching you about how to relationships. I'm not going into detail. I'm teaching you how to date on a roster so you can stop ignoring things that are getting you nowhere fast, picking up speed, and you're crashing out and burning. Okay. Keep in mind that all next week I will not be adding any full videos because I will be out of the country. Full videos will resume back on the 22nd of December. And then we will take a break on the 24th, 25th, and 26th for the holidays. I will do videos after that, going into that weekend. And then as we near the new year, actually, we're going to do our vision board one more time. We're going to bring up that vision board one more time at the end of December so that you all have that vision board together. And then we're going to be moving on from there. So if you have not already started from video one, you can start all of that next week so that you can have time to catch up on everything that I have went through since maybe you have just come on this channel today, or maybe you came in the last few days. I do encourage everybody to start from video one. I encourage you to get your copy of Never Date Just One Sis, the book. The link is always going to be on every video. Do not hold back. There is no ebook to get. This is not something that's going to be in the ebook. You need to have this book in front of you so you can always go back to it, open it up, and you can always write into your roster. So this will not be an ebook anytime soon. I don't want you to look for that in ebook. Get your copy on a link on this video. Also, you can get your copy of 31 Days of Internal Satisfaction. If there is some healing that you need to do, that link will be also on the video. And if you listen, and if you want to just date to relate, because this is for roster dating. And then there's a traditional dating book I already wrote, which is Date to Relate. That's going to help you with your traditional dating, but it's also going to give you some things in here that are also in your roster dating as well. Because again, dating is dating. You just have to know how you're going to apply it moving forward. I encourage everybody to date on a roster. I will never encourage you to date one person at a time because you will waste your time, you will waste your energy, you will give out love to people who do not deserve it. Whereas on a roster, you are slowly going through and doing a compare and contrast and seeing those who are putting in the effort to make you happy. You are the end all be all. You are the prize. And if you're dating one person who treats you as a prize the first 6 months, and then when you lock in and have sex with them and then you become an option after that, then this is why I need you to stop doing that right now. Okay. Now, I want to talk about something. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, I was in the mirror and I was looking at my hair and I was going to get ready to put it in a ponytail, but then I noticed some split ends. So I'm like, oh, let me get these split ends off. So I'm like, I got the scissors out and I cut the split ends. And as you can see, when you cut your split ends, your hair gets shorter. And a lot of people don't like to cut their split ends because they hate to reduce the length in their hair. So they'll rather have long hair that is damaged with a bunch of split ends that keeps popping up all the way to the root, eventually causing hair loss and alopecia. Why? Because the ends were not cut. So I said all that to say this. Cutting your split ends is the same thing as noticing red flags and cutting people off or putting them in the friend zone. The reason why is because you've just noticed something that's going to stop your growth. A red flag, a split end. They both stop your growth. In order for your hair to continue to grow, you have to get rid of the split ends. In order for you to continue to grow as a person, you have to get rid of those things that are holding you down. You have to cut them off. And yeah, your hair may shorten and you may feel like you're bald head. I don't know why y'all came up with that word, because bald head is literally like no hair on the scalp. But anyways, some people just think of bald head as, well, your hair's short. No, at least it's healthy short hair. I would prefer a head of healthy short hair than I would a head of damaged hair, because we know that damaged hair is going to do what? Continue to break down to the follicle and eventually give hair loss or alopecia. Same thing that's going to happen if you don't stop letting down those red flags. Pay attention to them and know when you need to cut communication and cut things off and friend zone people. Okay, a lot of y'all holding on to friends, family members, still in contact with old boyfriends, because these are the split ends that you refuse to cut off because you don't want to see the short side of things. When if you cut these things off, you will see the growth in you and a growth in your life, because what was holding you down is no longer holding you down. You're going to start seeing yourself lifting up, leveling up to get to exactly where you need to be to attract the energy into your space that wants to be attracted into your space. So again, when you think of your split ends, think of the same thing in dating. You have to cut some things off if you want to see some growth. That's what we're talking about today. Red flags. Things that you all continue to ignore. We have got to stop ignoring them, because red flags are telling us a lot. It's telling us exactly about the persons who we're dealing with. It's telling us exactly why we need to be taking a step back. Red flags aren't just red flags. They are red flags that are like, woo, 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 sirens to let you know that danger is ahead, or there's an issue ahead, or there's an accident ahead. When you see those sirens, you sit in traffic, you don't see sirens just because. You see sirens when something is going on. That is your red flag. It's letting you know that something not sitting right. Let's not ignore this. Let's see if we can dig a bit deeper into it if we can, and see what we can learn how to cut it off before it gets too out of control. Your red flags are your sirens. Whenever they start going off, you need to start paying attention. Now, in roster dating, it's crucial to spot the red flags and trust your gut, sis. It's called intuition. A lot of y'all have been ignoring intuition for so long that's why you keep getting results that you don't want. Because for some reason, when your other self, because we all have other selves, that's where the intuition comes from. You don't think it's crazy. When you're in tune with your other self, things start being a lot more clearer. For me, I am in tune with my other self. Other self will tell me to cut it off right now. It doesn't matter. While my emotions may be in it, other self may be, this about to be a problem. Cut off, cut off, cut off. Get out of it now. I listen to my other self all the time, okay? I clear things with my other self, because my other self is my intuition. It is never going to lead me wrong. But what I will do is lead myself wrong if I ignore my other self. Sis, that gut feeling, them hairs on the back of your neck, the thought that keep entering your mind, your intuition is trying to show and tell you something. Why are you ignoring it? You have got to stop doing it. You have got to stop ignoring things that eventually is going to cause you pain, cause you discomfort, and make you look at things a lot differently, like men are annoying. When the red flag was, you just chose the wrong men. You're connected with the wrong people. Men aren't annoying. The men you choose to deal with are annoying. So let's change your perception and let's change your view. Because a lot of times when you're still down here with that low vibration, you can't attract nothing else. All you have is everybody that's still down there with you. I want to change you and get you out of that realm. I need to increase you and get you up, to level up. So in order to do that, it's some certain things you got to do. We've already called those out. Build your self-love. Know your needs assessment. Wants, likes, dislikes, what you will tolerate, what you won't tolerate. Okay? You got to know who you are. You got to love everything about your self-image. It's so many things for you to level up and come off this low vibrational, low frequency level. But if you're not doing these things, if you've never done these things, that's why your vibrations and everything is still down here. And what does that mean? You need to go back to 31 days and heal 31 days internal satisfaction, and you need to be able to rebuild yourself. Because I could tell you 1,000 times 20, but I cannot make you do it. Okay? Now, it's crucial because when you dive too deep in one person, it can blind you with what's really going on. Remember those emotions I told y'all about to keep at bay and keep to the side? When you start liking somebody more than they like you, you start letting down their red flags because you're going to act like you didn't see them. Oh, and you definitely not going to mention them because you're going to feel like if you mention them, they're going to go away. what gets y'all, a lot of y'all, stuck in situations that you should not be in because you're afraid to talk about the things that you notice. Because if you feel like if you say something, that's going to run this person away. But you need to. And if they run themselves away, then that's fine. Because why would you want to be somewhere with somebody who has a bunch of red flags, and the moment you bring them up, they turn it around on you and then they get out of there? That's letting you know that that person ain't never want to be there from the beginning. They had ill intentions to be there with you. So the moment you caught at their inconsistencies and their red flags, they get an attitude, they find a reason to leave you, let them be gone, and do not go after them. We don't spend any blocks.
Black men need to stop telling y'all they're monogamous if they're polygynous. Too many black women are being manipulated into poor relationships that they didn't sign up with because of disingenuous men.
You might ignore the sign that your partner ain't as committed to you or into you like you are. A lot of y'all do, because y'all be still forcing your emotions on somebody, and you want to think that hopefully they're going to change when at the end of the day you're just not their person. They're not going to change. So pull back and keep them as the option that they want to be. They're treating you like the option. Give back to men the same actions they give you. Don't change your energy. Your energy is still that of a loving woman who deserves a loving man. We're not changing that energy, but we're gonna match that action though. That's a commandment. We're not changing our energy, but we are gonna match the actions of those that give us do unto others. You want others to do unto you. And if you don't want me to do it, then don't do it to me. By keeping a few options in the mix, you give yourself the chance to see everything clearly. I'm talking about so clear. And you make a smarter choice and informed decision on if you need to carry this person on with you through your life, or if you need to drop them off in a friend zone and keep it moving. Now, somebody's going to say, what is a red flag? Well, let's talk about what a red flag is. A red flag is something your partner does that indicates a lack of respect, lack of integrity, or lack of interest towards whatever y'all are trying to build. That's a red flag. Red flags get in the way of your progression into something great. Red flags are like stop signs. They tell you to stop. You gotta look both ways. You gotta make sure you observe everything around you before you continue to move forward, because if you ignore that stop sign and go through it, somebody might be coming from the side and plow dead into you. That can change everything. I don't want y'all to be plowed into no more. The red flags are the stop sign and the stop light. Do not move if there is no green light. If they're not giving you a reason to move forward, stop right there. You can get out the car and walk another direction, or you can turn around and U-turn and get up out of there. But there is no reason for you to go forward. For what? You've already seen or heard what you didn't want to hear and didn't want to see, and now we need to make sure that we remember that, document that, and get out of there. Friend zone them very quickly, effectively, immediately. Do not overthink it. Everything sounds stupid when you overthink it until you write it down. Because I know y'all be like, well, dang. Okay, maybe I'm being a little critical. Okay, I got 2 kids, and he said he got 3 kids. I ain't gonna cut him off. Why? Because y'all both parents? He told you he got 3 kids. What if he don't even take care of the 3 kids? A pattern. He got 3 kids. He don't take care. He don't spend no time with them. Don't really know nothing about him, but he can't wait to tell you he got 3 kids, because men love to tell you that they fathers, but they don't tell you if they involved fathers. They don't tell you if they've abandoned their children. They can just say, I got 3 kids. You think, okay, I got 2 kids. We might be a new family. Really? And then you lay down with him. You get pregnant from him. You get a child. Y'all think y'all going somewhere. And soon after that, things change. He's in the wind, and your child is now fatherless yet again. Please don't think because y'all got in common that y'all got kids that means that y'all gonna be a great intertwined family. Absolutely not. This still may not be a father. This still may not be a family man. You haven't seen all versions of him yet for you to make that determination. Okay? It could be something they said, did, or didn't do. Let me tell you, for me, communication is a huge red flag. I don't care what you're going through in your life. If we have established something and you fall back because you feel like because you're going through this, you want to cut everybody off, that is a red flag, baby. That means that you're going to always be hiding things from me. And guess who doesn't have time to figure that out? I can make time for a lot of things. What I cannot make time for is trying to help you through your issues or to read your mind. I am not psychic, and I am not a therapist. I am a life coach. I can help you get over them hurdles. I'm not going to help you through them. You got to work that out on your own. 31 days to internal satisfaction, because only you know how it is to be healed. You know what you need to be healed. But as your coach, I'm going to pull that out of you, because that's what I do. I don't give it to you. That's what therapists do. They give it to you. As a coach, I'm going to pull that out of you, and then I'm going to watch you make a plan to get that conquered. And I'm going to hold you accountable to that plan. Whereas a therapist is going to let you bring it out, tell you what you could have done differently, and then wait for you to do it. With me, I don't have time for that. You have six to 9 months to make these changes. If there are no changes as a coach, regardless if you pay for my services, you will get cut off as a client. Why? Because your results won't do anything for me. Because you're not doing what I asked you to do. That's what a coach is. A therapist will let you come in for 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years while you're trying to process this. We don't have that much time when I'm your coach. Writing it out answers all your nagging questions. The key to noticing red flags is becoming aware of the patterns. Remember I told you about them patterns that y'all set by having sex too soon and doing all those things. You got to notice your own patterns that are red flags. And you got to turn your own red flags into green flags so that a man wants to go past and collect $200 and do all those things with you. If you haven't got your own red flags noticed, how are you noticing somebody else's red flags? Note that your red flags are going to be presented in your self-evaluation. And when you notice your red flags, you've got to find ways for you to deal with that. When we talked about that, how are you trying to change those red flags into green flags? And if not, well, you can't expect somebody to move forward with you. Here go some potential examples of red flags. When a man is wishy-washy about his feelings for you, they leave you doubtful and uncertain about their intentions and where they want to go. If he up and down, trying to figure out if he like you and all this stuff, that's a red flag. He either need to know if he do or he don't. He don't need to tell you that he like you and he don't either. And you should be able to feel it and see it that he likes you. Okay? Because you're not telling him anything about you like him yet. That's not where we at. Our emotions are not even on the table. And you may like him, but they don't get brought up anytime soon. Another example. They are in position to your freedom. They expect you to cater to their expectations. Red flag. That's a man that's trying to get his needs met. When we talked about we don't meet the needs of men. Men meet the needs of us. That's how the relationship dynamic goes. The marriage goes in using each other. So you're going to get your needs met by him. He's going to get the love and all he needs from you. You start meeting men's needs from the beginning, of course you're going to feel used. Of course you're going to feel like you did too much, because why are you so interested in his needs and your needs are unmet? Red flag, red flag, red flag. For me, I'm trying to figure out, well, do you love yourself? Because how are you able to know what his needs are, but you can't tell him what your needs are? For me, that's a huge red flag. Another one is they are a negative influence. They bring out the worst in you, offering you up drugs, asking you to come commit crimes with them, abandoning you, abandoning their kids, just middle finger to your needs. Red flags that should not be ignored or put down. Because if you are not the priority, then you are an option. So why are you making somebody your priority who've made it clear that you are their option? They don't care or prioritize your safety. You really want to be with a man that while y'all left the date and y'all walking up the road to have a talk, you walking on the outside near traffic, he walking on the inside to protect himself. We all know that men's supposed to walk on the outside. That's the protector in them. So if you get with a man that don't know his place just to take a walk and where he needs to be positioning himself, your safety is at jeopardy. You need to think of that, because while it may be small, that's very huge for me. A man who is clearly threatened and intimidated by other men, red flag. Where is this coming from? Why is he so overjealous? Why is he so overbearing? What is that from? That's a sign that he's finna have some type of control issue in the relationships. What is he always trying to ask you what you got going on and tell you about your hair now? Where is that coming from? Is it really you he's talking to, or is it somebody else from his past, or is something that he like in his mom? Red flag. Please do not move forward. We need to figure out what that is. When his words and his actions don't match up, huge red flag. I'm talking about the flag is waving big, bright red. I'm talking about huge red flag.
Black men have to stop holding women on an emotional leash, giving her the belief that you may one day commit, knowing damn well you don't want her. Let her go, but you won't let her go because your ego can't stand to see something you throw away get picked out the trash by another man and turned into a jewel.
Can tell you all of the great things, cannot show you any of those things. Huh? Red flag, do not dismiss it. Criticizing your previous relationships like he is the end all be all and he is perfect. First of all, he shouldn't know anything about your previous relationships. Why is that even a topic? So if he's criticizing them because you told him too much, then that's your fault. It's a red flag for you because you still want everybody to know what you did that was so great before this person came along. That's a red flag, baby. Get over that. The past back there. I told y'all got a problem with leaving things back there, so you always bringing it up and trying to bring it up here. Leave it back there. A red flag if you don't know how to do that. Because what are you still doing back there? Do you want to go back there with them people? You can't change nothing. But why that always an issue? He should know nothing about your previous relationships. But in the event that he does and he brings those up and he criticizes you and use them as a reason to treat you bad or say they get your little ex-boyfriend, they get your crazy ex. Red flag, you told him too much. Red flag for you because you talk too much. Red flag for him because that means he doesn't validate how that person made you feel less than. If he doesn't want to validate your feelings and how you felt less than, what are we doing? Red flag. They have zero filter or consideration for others. This person just says and does what they want to without worrying about any consequence. Red flag. Red flag in a few different ways. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need a straightforward man that's gonna protect you and don't care about how nobody else feel. Like if you go to his family's house and his mom is trying to dig at you and trying to do all these things and he stands up and he takes up for you, that's a green flag. The red flag would be if he doesn't say anything at all while these people are trying to break you down and criticize you and he doesn't speak up for you, red flag. Trying way too hard to impress or romance you, love bombing, red flag. Doing everything he can to spend this money on you for a date or invite you here and do all this and get your hair done and all that stuff. Then all of a sudden he has an expectation for you to give him sex, red flag. Overly complains or has an excuse about everything. Oh my God, every time y'all go somewhere, it's a complaint. Anytime y'all in the house and it don't go his way, it's a complaint, red flag. That's a hard to please man. The red flag for you would be if you stay there and keep trying to please him and make him happy. You can't, listen, sis, you can't make nobody happy that's not already happy. You can add to the happiness, but you cannot make anybody happy with your presence and the things that you do. You will now be a gopher. You're the go-to girl for stupid stuff, but you're not the lady I'm going to marry because we know as women, we don't make anybody happy. Just like somebody can't make you happy. Happiness is within, but you can add to their happiness. So if he's already a happy man, your presence alone is just going to make him feel that much happier. But you can't make him happy, baby. He got to work on himself, and nobody can make you happy. You got to work on yourself. Here are some questions to ask yourself after every date. Is this something that bothers you? That's on a roster. Any type of feeling weird or awkward, anything like that? If it was, make sure you document that. That's in a roster. Could it possibly be a problem down the road? Again, a man who has kids that told you he has kids, but cannot tell you how he's been a father can be a problem down the road because you will find yourself thinking that you need to procreate with him. And then in the future, when you do, he don't take care of the kid and don't even acknowledge the kid. That's a problem. Will you get over it, especially if it shows up again and again? Or are you just going to brush it to the side? He don't never have all the money for the day. He asking you for some of the money at the end of the day. You going to keep brushing that to the side? Or you going to think that's a problem? So that means this man can't even afford dating right now. Why is he even trying to date? Every time y'all go out, he always short on cash. You sure? Or he just don't want to spend that money on you? Red flag. Do you think it will fix itself or change over time? Some things don't. That's just who they is. So if the woman who they want to be with, they will change for. The woman who is his woman, he will do everything to make sure that it's right the first time. He doesn't have a problem with that. But if you're looking for him, okay, well, he's not as affectionate right now. I know if I keep being affectionate over time, it's going to change. You sure? Because if you're not his person, it's not going to change at all, but it's going to get worse. Does it make you feel insecure or unsafe? Told you about that example that I never go back to. He would look at girls that looked completely different from me, that had lighter skin and had smaller bodies. I felt so insecure. I did not feel safe at all. So what did I do? Go home and try to get down to the size he wanted, hated my dark skin color because I wasn't a skin color. Why would I beat myself up because this man he's a colorist in his own race? He is not even light skinned. He isn't none of the things that he wanted another woman. And I'm beating myself up because he is a colorist man. Absolutely not. When all I needed to do was get from around that. Did it make you feel undervalued and unworthy? And he did. Make me feel undervalued and unworthy while I'm beating myself up, crying, losing weight, trying to get down to a size that he still did not want me. At the end of the day, I still was not his person. So do you feel undervalued and unworthy? If you do, red flag it and friend zone and get out of there. It ain't even no reason for you to keep trying to date this person if you don't feel safe and secure and valued and worthy, that whenever you step outside with him, you don't care about nobody else looking at y'all. He's looking at you. And he's giving you compliments. Damn, baby, you looking real good tonight. Oh, I can't wait. You want that. You don't want a man that doesn't recognize anything about you. If you change your hair today, he don't recognize it. Because he doesn't care. That's an undervalue. Do they downplay or minimize out of fear, rejection, abandonment, or conflict? That's what a lot of men do. A fear of rejection because they don't like to be rejected. So therefore, they won't even try to even make themselves known to a woman that they're interested because they so fear rejection. And you, ma'am, fear rejection. That's why you won't tell them how you really feel. Red flags, fear of abandonment because you don't like to be by yourself. So you'll be with you. That's why you're in and out of situations and relationships because you don't know how to be by yourself. Red flag. He definitely doesn't know how to be by himself. Every time you turn around, he's dealing with a different woman. That's a lot of red flags there. Either he doesn't really want a woman, he wants a man, but doesn't know how to come out and say that. He has some issues where he maybe has some sexual trauma going on in his past that he doesn't want to address. He has some abandonment issues. His daddy wasn't there. His mama wasn't there. You can't heal all that and love him past that pain, baby. Let him go back. He's going to have to go heal that on his own. Tell him to get a copy of 31 Days to Internal Satisfaction. You can't help him with that. Are you sacrificing yourself, your needs, and your personal happiness? Remember I told you can't make nobody happiness, and you can't make nobody happy. They got to already be happy. But if you sacrificing your happiness to keep them happy, red flag. If you sacrificing your needs to fulfill his needs, red flag. If you are sacrificing any parts of yourself, he tells you, I don't like a woman that wear weave. But you love wearing weave. You don't care because your hair is not damaged underneath. You love wearing weave. But he doesn't like it, so you're going to sacrifice that and stop wearing weave. It was no compromise made. You didn't say, okay, well, baby, you may not like the hard wigs. How about I just get a sew-in that looks natural? Because that's a compromise. But if you just say, okay, I'm going to ditch these wigs, how I did when I was first, I ditched the colored wigs. Listen to the bad advice of Shearer. Shearer said men that they don't like the colored wigs. They look at you different ways. Absolutely not. I myself had to discover that was a complete bald-faced lie. But that will be coming from somebody who who found her husband at a time that men are no longer like that. So I ditched that idea, she said, and I went back to my colored hair. Does anything that he does or says go against your own belief system and cause you to be embarrassed? Red flag. If this is a man who carries a purse and you don't like that, your belief system that purses are only for women, why would you continue to move forward? That's a red flag because now you're finna feel embarrassed. You go out and you have a purse and he has a purse as well. They call them, what do they call them? Man bags, something like that. I'm not saying it's all wrong if you can appreciate it. Do I want a man that carries a bag around? No, I don't. I want a man that has a wallet because I don't know what that bag is about. And if you ain't got a reason to have that bag, a duffel bag, boy, to have stacks in that bag, then we're not carrying any bag across our chest. You're not going to work with me like that because I don't want to feel embarrassed. And no, I can't compromise, but get somebody else to do it. Does anything he do, can you explain that or rationalize that to somebody else like it's a benefit for you and not a problem? If you can't explain why he carry a bag to somebody else, then it's a red flag. That's all I'm saying. If you have no explanation, that's going to make somebody say, oh, okay, I understand. It's a red flag. Because if it doesn't benefit you and you can't find the benefits in it, why are you doing it? And let's talk about Tammy, okay? Tammy was still balancing her roster with dates with Daquan, Damon, and Ethan. And while each dude had their own vibe, things started feeling off with Daquan. Red flags started popping up, okay? He began acting all controlling. Remember, she's not going to be able to know this in those first few dates because he's on his best behavior. But as time goes on, the real versions of them eventually pop up. This is why I told y'all, committed relationships, girlfriend, boyfriend, things after 2 to 3 months, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You ain't seen everything you needed to see. Now, different from if you meet a man, y'all have a conversation, y'all talking, his intentions to marry you, is to marry you, and you jump into that marriage. Of course, you're going to learn him in different ways that you may not be able to learn him, but at least that you have a title on it. And the moment things go out of the way or go wrong, you got to get out of there. You got to be willing to go do that annulment. You got to be willing to get out that marriage, because if you're not, then you're going to keep allowing that toxic behavior. That's the only time I'm going to tell you to move into a commitment, if the commitment is marriage. Girlfriend, boyfriends, things of that nature, absolutely not. I'm not asking you to do that. You finna waste time, because you don't even know if you're that person, so you finna waste time. So not only was he controlling, he started demanding constant updates about her whereabouts and getting jealous whenever she mentioned hanging out with somebody else. Remember now, they roster dating. So his jealousy is going to be evident because she's already told everybody that she's dating multiple men. When he starts demanding that he gets all of her time or spend more time with her, that is a red flag, because she has already told him from the beginning that she is dating multiple people. His controlling behavior, his demands to be number one and be the number one priority did not align with Tammy at all, because that's not what she's doing. And furthermore, she doesn't even know if Daquan is the best option for her. On top of that, he was quick to dismiss Tammy's feelings and always needed her to validate him. So he would not validate her feelings. He didn't even want to hear it. But he wanted her to validate the fact that he felt like he needed more time with her. He felt like he felt ignored and abandoned when she went out with other guys. He wanted her to validate those. He didn't want to validate her feelings. Now, even though she had some fun times with Daquan, her intuition was yelling at her that something was not right. I told you about the other self. You don't want to listen to your other self because you don't want to run this person away. Some people, we're going to have to let them get out of there on their own. Because if it pops up and it keeps nagging you and it's bothering you, your intuition telling you something ain't right there, we need to be paying attention to that. We do not need to ignore nothing like that. Tammy listened to her intuition and she decided to take a step back. She was not going to ignore the fact that Daquan was acting too controlling, too jealous, and too possessive so soon. And she had not even slept with him. So imagine if she had already slept with him. This could have been far worse. And it could lead to, if I can't have you, nobody else can. Nobody wants that. Now that Tammy has recognized the version of Daquan that she didn't think would pop up, but it did pop up, she now is going to tell him how she feels. She's going to call out this behavior and tell Daquan she noticed these inconsistencies, things that she does not agree with, that do not serve her purpose and are not for her best interest. When she did bring him up, Daquan got defensive. He got defensive and he didn't take her seriously. So after that, Tammy decided to make the end things right then and there. Not put him on a friend zone. She doesn't want a defensive friend like that. This one, she wanted to cut off. So she told him. She freed up when she told him that it was best that they go their separate ways, because right now where he's trying to go, she's not trying to go with him. He doesn't feel like he have our best interests at heart. He doesn't validate her feelings. He doesn't even listen to her, and he gets very angry very quickly. So instead of continuing this relationship, she decided to end it right then and there, because even if he was her friend, he may be still exhibiting the same behaviors. And see, he's already started liking her, over-liking her, okay? Which means that it becomes scary. So she has to cut that off right in there, because at the end of the day, her safety is first. Her ending the communication with Daquan, all it did was add to her time that she had up to learn more about Damien and learn more about Ethan. So she dropped one off her roster. It doesn't mean that she is still not looking for others to add. One just got dropped right now. And she's going to continue this roster on with Damien and Ethan. Things are way more positive and respectful with those men, okay? So she learned that spotting red flags and trusting her intuition were key to thriving in roster dating. If someone starts showing inconsistencies or disrespect, you got to be quick to walk away. Not friend zone them. Because I told y'all, thou shalt not cut anybody out who serves better as a friend over a lover. Some people can't even be your friend because they're giving you attributes and quality that doesn't align with the best interest of you. And we're not putting our safety on the line for nobody at no time. Ignoring these warnings could have led to an emotional strain and Tammy being unhappy. By staying alert, she had a clear exit strategy. She protected herself from the toxic vibes, and she could pour her energy into her connections that truly align with her values and needs. That's what we do. That's what we do. Somebody drops off, cool. Somebody get thrown off the roster, cool. Now you got more time to invest into your other options on your roster. Because again, we're still learning who these men are, and we want to see all versions of them. The real versions, not the one that they will show you just because you have dated them for a couple of months. You haven't seen them at their worst or whatever the case is, and you think because he's handsome and he got this and that, you want to move forward, and then you find out you with a crazy ass person who wants to murder you if you don't be with him. Common red flags, we already talked about some. So some are inconsistencies with somebody's behavior or communication starts changing, where they was calling you this much or you talk to them this much or they text back this quickly and suddenly everything pulls back from it. That's an inconsistent behavior. That's a red flag. Don't go past go and collect $200. Stop right there, because you need to figure out where you're trying to go with this, where they trying to go and where you trying to go. Especially if you have a need for great communication. This person ain't fulfilling that need right now. Remember, your needs are first. I told you I have a need for communication. So the moment you cut me off or stop communicating because of whatever you're going through, that's a red flag. That means that you're going to do the same thing. If I ever put all my eggs in your basket and give you all of me, you're going to still do the same thing to me because I didn't call that out and I didn't act like I didn't see it. Over controlling behavior, again, you are roster dating. If anybody trying to control who you are and what you're trying to do, get them out of there. You cannot be controlled. Disregarding your personal boundaries. Get them out of there. If you have already told them that you're not trying to have any physical sex with them or any type of physical intimacy, and they keep putting it on you and keep bringing it up, get it out of there. It's too much because you've already told them what you're doing. Now they're trying to cross over that line like the boundary don't exist, and you don't want to need anybody that doesn't take you serious with your boundaries. If they always need validation from you, like they are always seeking your approval or your reassurance, that's somebody who may not understand who they are as a man or as a person. You don't have time to build them up. They have to come to you already built. We're not builders. We're not, this isn't Lego. We're not adding pieces to anybody. They need to come to you already well put together, because you coming to them well put together and ain't nobody adding pieces to you. So stop doing that, okay? You can't fix somebody. Sus, your intuition is powerful as hell. When you're dating, period, but definitely when you're roster dating, okay? It's going to help you stop ignoring red flags. It's going to help you stop ignoring things that should be spotted, pointed out, talked about, and maybe worked on or possibly compromised on, okay? If your gut tells you something is off, you better listen up. Trusting your intuition will help you make smarter choices, informed decisions about moving forward with anybody in a roster and dating, period. Y'all have been ignoring your intuition for too long. Today it stops. You got to stop doing that. If you want to effectively date correctly, your intuition is going to be your go-to for a lot of different things. When it comes to your exit strategy, we do have our commandment that says, thou shalt not cut anyone off that serves better as a homeboy or a friend. We are using that commandment when we are on our first date and when we are in our first conversation, things of that nature. But once we start actively monitoring and going through our roster, we need to learn how to exit, okay? Exit strategy, when you spot those red flags and things that raise alarms, you got to get out of there. You got to get out of there quickly because your safety may be in jeopardy, okay? You want to first communicate your concerns. Tell him how you feel and what you picked up on, because now you're trying to see if maybe he doesn't even know that he had that behavior, and is he willing to compromise and get that behavior changed? Okay, is he going to validate how you feel, discomfort in whatever you're telling him about? If he doesn't validate your discomfort, validate your concerns, that's a red flag.
We need to stop getting into relationships when we have unmet psychological needs from our childhood that we have not addressed. Too many women are dealing with the abandonment of their fathers. You cannot put it on a man to heal the emotional wounds that your father caused. Too many men are looking for women to heal the emotional needs caused by their mother's abandonment. Deal with the trust issues from your parents. Deal with the abandonment issues from your parents. Deal with the lack of ability issues from your parents. It is not your partner's job to heal you psychologically. And so what we often end up doing is getting into relationships with emotionally unavailable people. And the reason they're emotionally unavailable is they're too consumed with their own issues that they should have dealt with before I came into your life.
Give yourself time to reflect in and check on how you feel about that connection. Again, you've already told them how you feel. So now you want to give them some time to see if they're going to correct it. If over time you don't see nothing about it changing, you know what's next. If those red flags keep popping up or they get worse, it's time to respectfully cut them out and keep it moving forward with the rest of your roster. If you don't cut those split ends off, your hair gonna start popping off until it comes out in the root, and you could possibly lead to hair loss or alopecia. If you don't cut off when you see red flags, it's gonna become a problem. There should be no time that a man can show you the real version of him and you ignore it because you're so infatuated with him. Take your feelings out of it. I don't care how you feel. This person could be dangerous. Pick up on it. Intuition. Trust it. Call it out. If there is no change, get out of there. Sis, you are a diamond and you're supposed to shine bright. People with red flags will dull your shine. I don't want your shine dulling because for so long it has been dulled because you did not know how to date properly. You did not know how to date on a roster to have you multiple options, okay? You choose who you have sex with. Men choose who they marry. So why don't you be the choice that he wants to marry as opposed to just having sex with because you're giving it up and you're ignoring red flags. And don't think that men don't pick up on that too. Because if they show you some inconsistent behavior, a lot of them want you to cut them off. A lot of them want you to do it because they're not going to tell you that. They expect you to do it. But you're not going to do it because you're so infatuated with him, validating his existence, trying to make him happy that you forget that you're not happy yourself. Use your roster as a way for you to track your red flags. Know everything. And look at if the patterns are inconsistent. If it is an inconsistent pattern that keeps getting worse, you need your exit strategy. And it's going to be no remorse, and you're not going to look back or you're not going to spin that block. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of Never Date Just One. Like, follow, and subscribe.